Hi, welcome to the very first episode of De-Risk. Okay, let me be honest, this is both exciting and a little nerve-wracking. Starting a podcast isn't something I took lightly, and if you're listening right now, I just want to say thank you. It means a lot. So, why De-Risk? Why am I doing this? Well, I've always had this one thing in the back of my mind. How can people, regular people, not full-time analysts or hedge fund managers, make smart investing decisions without drowning in information overload? Because honestly, even with a background in economics, finance, and data analytics, I still found myself spending hours and hours trying to make sense of the markets. And not just markets, actually, the economy, policy decisions, inflation trends, interest rates, earnings reports, sentiment indicators. It's a lot. And the thing is, I just couldn't base my decisions on some tweet or YouTube clip with clickbait titles like, "Buy this stock now or regret it forever." It didn't sit right with me. I needed real analysis, patterns backed by data, trends that made sense. And I know I'm not alone. You see, we all want to grow our money. We all want to protect what we've earned. And no one wants to take unnecessary risks. Risk is at the core of every investment decision. Do I hold? Do I buy? Do I sit this one out? And most of the time, we're asking those questions with incomplete information. That's the problem I kept running into. I'd be up late, flipping between company filings, economic releases, technical charts, sometimes even wondering if I was overanalyzing. But I couldn't not do it. Because guessing? That's not investing. That's gambling. And so after years of going through this cycle, I thought, you know what? Maybe there's a better way to share all of this. Maybe I could take what I already do, all the research, the sifting, the filtering, and turn it into something others could actually use. That's where De-Risk comes in. This podcast is my way of simplifying the complex, giving you the same kind of deep dive analysis, economic context, and stock breakdowns that I rely on, but in a way that's easy to listen to. No jargon, no fluff, no hype, just clear, concise insight, all rooted in my research. So here's what you can expect going forward. Each episode will either break down an economic trend, a company or stock worth watching, or investing principles you can actually apply. We'll ask, why is this asset or industry moving? What does this data point really mean? And most importantly, what should I be thinking about as an investor or trader? And yes, we'll also zoom out to talk about the broader economic forces at play. Because let's be honest, you can't make smart investing decisions if you don't understand the world around you. Now, I'm not here to give you stock tips. I'm not here to hype anything. And I'm definitely not going to tell you to YOLO your savings into the next big thing. This is about strategy, it's about clarity, it's about reducing risk and making informed moves, not emotional ones. So if you're someone who wants to take investing seriously without turning it into a second full-time job, I think you're going to feel right at home here. We're just getting started, and I've got a ton of topics lined up, from sector trends and valuation frameworks to economic outlooks and psychological traps investors fall into. So, whether you're a curious beginner, a seasoned trader, or somewhere in between, my goal is simple: help you make smarter decisions. Also, just a quick note before we wrap. While the voice you're hearing is AI generated, the research, analysis, and ideas behind every episode are 100% mine. I've wanted to do this podcast for a long time, but honestly, the time and effort that goes into recording and editing always held me back, especially with everything else on my plate. But with how natural and human-like AI audio has become, I finally have a way to bring my research to life and share it with you consistently and clearly. So while the voice might be synthetic, the insight is very real. All right, that's a wrap for episode 1. If you found any of this helpful, or if you're just curious to see where this goes, make sure to follow the podcast and maybe even share it with someone who could use a little clarity in their investing journey. And before I go, just a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for informational purposes only. Nothing you hear here should be considered financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and I always recommend doing your own research or speaking with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions. All right, that's it for now. Let's de-risk your investing together. See you in the next one.